but this is where the royal family, let's be honest, what's the king done? He's done nothing. He's uninvited him at Christmas. That's it. The fact is, there needs to be a full criminal investigation into the whole royal family. Who paid off the 12 million? They've silenced...
But it's not a criminal act to have paid off the 12 million.
Well, no, you've silenced a victim of sexual abuse.
But it's not a criminal act to do that. You know, you can't...
But that is morally, that is wrong.
No, but you cannot make sweeping allegations about things that you don't know anything about. What you could say, though, Narinda, in all seriousness, is Andrew denies any wrongdoing. He hasn't expressed any contrition. He isn't sorry, hasn't apologised. In the interview with Emily Maitlis, he never even referred to the victims at all. But if he really persists in maintaining he did absolutely nothing wrong, there's nothing to see here, I did nothing wrong, how can he possibly be made to apologise or made to make reparations or made to do anything if he doesn't think he did anything wrong?
The monarchy is an institution of this country. We can't have a country that is against child abuse and sex trafficking, but at the same time a monarchy that thinks they're above the law. They're not above the law. They're complicit. They did pay off 12 million. We need to know who paid that off. We need to know what the king knew. He could be a witness to criminality. We need to know what William knew. All they're bothered about is protecting their image. We need to protect victims of abuse. This is so important because we're not a democracy otherwise. How can we call ourselves a democracy if he is involved, if he's not involved? But surely there needs to be some questioning. He refused to go to America and be questioned by the FBI. Now that's outrageous. Now the police are saying they're getting involved because he used taxpayers funded money to find out his social,
he asked a police protection officer to dig out some dirt from Virginia
so there's a lot there, Vanessa.
But just because you decree that something's against the law doesn't mean it is against the law, Narinda. And certainly the whole point of all the machinations and manoeuvres have been to somehow keep him outside that scrutiny.
But what about accountability?
Well, what about accountability? I mean, that's an excellent question. Let's go to Mary in Belfast.
G'day, legends. Hope you're all feeling fantastic and ready for another wild ride. Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for honest takes and a bit of cheeky fun. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. This is the place where we call out nonsense, keep it real, and never shy away from the truth. We're Team Sussex all the way. Yep, we're talking about Harry and Meghan. Why? Because they made the tough choice to put their mental health and family first, stepping away from the palace drama. That takes real courage, and we respect it. They've faced relentless criticism from the media and public, but have handled it all with incredible grace and dignity. Today, we're diving deep into royal family drama, double standards, accountability, and why some royals seem to get a free pass while others are thrown to the wolves. So, buckle up, grab your cuppa, because we're about to spill some serious tea. Our main focus today? Prince Andrew. Why is he so fiercely protected by the establishment, while others, like Meghan, get hammered for far less? It's a question that needs answers. Honestly, it's baffling, frustrating, and, let's be real, a bit of a joke. The double standards are impossible to ignore. So let's pull back the curtain and get into what's really going on behind those palace gates. You won't want to miss this. Let's talk about Narinda Kaur, a true legend, and someone who isn't afraid to ruffle a few feathers when it matters most. In a world where most people shy away from controversy, Narinder steps right into the spotlight, unafraid to speak her mind. She went on national TV and demanded a real investigation into Prince Andrew's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, refusing to let the issue be swept under the rug just because it involved royalty. The panel freaked out, clutching their pearls, gasping in disbelief at her boldness, but Narinder stood her ground, unwavering and calm in the face of their shock. She pointed out the obvious. If Andrew were just some bloke off the street, he'd have been investigated ages ago, without all this hesitation and special treatment. But because he's a prince, everyone's treading on eggshells, afraid to say what needs to be said, and worried about offending the establishment. Narinder faced instant backlash, accused of being disrespectful to the monarchy, and was criticised both on social media and by the show's audience for daring to challenge the status quo. But what's more disrespectful? Asking for accountability, or ignoring victims who deserve answers and justice? Isn't it more important to stand up for what's right? She wasn't being rude, she was demanding justice, speaking up for those who don't have a voice, and refusing to let powerful people off the hook. For a moment, she cut through the nonsense and spoke the truth that everyone else was too afraid to say out loud. We need more Narinders. People brave enough to call out the powerful, challenge the comfortable, and remind us that real change only happens when someone dares to speak up. Let's play Spot the Difference. Prince Andrew faces serious allegations, gives a disastrous interview, and quietly settles out of court. The palace and media? Let's move on. He's a private citizen now. Meanwhile, Meghan gets attacked for everything from her clothes to her kindness. No palace protection for her, just relentless press attacks. The hypocrisy is massive. Andrew gets shielded, Meghan gets scapegoated. The institution protected Andrew but left Meghan to the wolves. It's not about tradition, it's about power. Andrew represents the old guard. Meghan and Harry challenged the system and paid the price. If that doesn't show the double standard, nothing will. In one corner you have the Sussex Squad, a passionate global community who witnessed the relentless and often unfair attacks on Harry and Meghan and decided to push back against the tide of negativity. They are united by a sense of justice and a desire to see the couple treated with respect and dignity. The Sussex Squad calls out racism, misinformation, and double standards wherever they see them, using facts, research, and evidence to challenge the mainstream narrative and hold the powerful to account. In the other corner, palace apologists stand firm in their defense of the monarchy, no matter what controversies arise. They often ignore uncomfortable facts, clinging tightly to tradition and the status quo, believing the royal family can do no wrong. The Sussex Squad fights for fairness, transparency, and accountability, demanding that everyone, royal or not, be held to the same standards. Meanwhile, the apologists argue for special exceptions, one set of rules for the royals and another for everyone else, reinforcing a system of privilege. It's a battle between those who value evidence and justice and those who offer blind loyalty to tradition, regardless of the facts. Supporting Harry and Meghan means standing up for equal treatment, fairness, and the idea that everyone deserves respect, no matter their background. Defending figures like Andrew, on the other hand, often means excusing privilege and turning a blind eye to serious issues. Ultimately, this clash exposes the real divide in society, between those who want fairness and justice for all and those who protect privilege for a select few. So, where do we land? It's simple. Fairness. Whether you're a prince or a plumber, the same rules should apply. We can't excuse serious allegations just because someone has a title. The monarchy dazzles us with tradition, but we need to look past the surface. Why protect one person from scrutiny while another is vilified for less? This isn't about tearing down the monarchy. It's about holding it to a fair standard. If the royals want respect, they need accountability. Let's be brave, call out nonsense, and demand fairness for everyone. Thanks for tuning in, be kind, and see you next time.